Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for the Star-Spangled Banner. Thank you.
Good morning. I am Danielle Napolitano, and as president of the class of 1997, it is exciting for me to be the first to make a very important introduction. Parents, meet your graduates. The realization that your babies are graduating high school and going on to college probably won't hit until the first tuition bill arrives in the mail. But don't let that fool you, because as you know, knowledge is the key to success. Now, before you jump to conclusions, I'm not just another teenager who thinks she knows it all. My peers and I, through the guidance and support of many, have grown up together. We have overcome many challenges along the way and are equally prepared for the challenges tomorrow brings. The challenges faced by this class surely vary in magnitude. For some, academics has been a priority. Others have focused on music, athletics, art, theater, community service, and/or leadership. Despite the tremendous individuality and the unique nature of every member of this class, there have been many times where this class has worked together to face and overcome obstacles. Let's talk battle. Freshman year, what can I say? We tried. Sophomore and junior years were an obvious improvement. But by senior year, all the yelling, late nights, and overall frustration paid off, and we cashed in. Battle was by far not the only event which served to bring the senior class together. As I look back on this year, I remember with pride T-shirts, keychains, homecoming, the welcome back dance, flower Fridays, singled out, fashion show, senior events, and of course, the prom. As you can probably tell from my speech, I am somewhat biased towards the class of 1997. This bias is, however, well-founded and stems from 4 years' worth of memories. At this time, I find it most appropriate to thank the one, the only, Mr. Edelman. Oh, Marky Mark, how can we, the funky bunch, express to you our undying gratitude? You have exposed to us so many things. Proofs in Course 2, algebra, your psychotic fits, your neurotic breakdowns, sarcasm. Oh, Edelman, what will we ever do without you? You and Ms. Giamatruzzi have been supportive and devoted advisors. I, on behalf of this class, would sincerely like to thank you for the knowledge and sense of respect you have helped instill in us all. The knowledge we have gained through high school is the very essence of our being here today. Although we have only taken baby steps into a world that calls for leaps, we leave Great Neck North knowing that we have the support and confidence of those who believe in us. It is my great pleasure to introduce to you important members of our educational community who share today our honor and relief. Superintendent Dr. William Shine. Assistant Superintendent Dr. Sheila Terrens. Assistant Superintendent Edwin Groshans. President of the Board of Education Mona Fuchs. Vice President Judy Bosworth. Trustee Donald Ashkenazi. Trustee Barbara Berkowitz. Trustee Lawrence Gross. PTSA President Liz Marino. As a representative of this most distinguished senior class, I would like to formally welcome you to the graduation of the class of 1997. And now, Dr. William Shine to introduce first and second honors.
It is my privilege to recognize the ranking students in this outstanding class. The salutatorian of this class has come to Great Neck, started in the Kennedy School. She and her family left the revolution in Iran. She's gone through 13 years of school. She's become a researcher in medical theory. She's served in Amnesty International. She is a commended scholar. Most of all, she's also a great musician. Most of all, she is a person who has invested a great deal in the well-being of the school community and in the joy of her classmates coming together today in this graduation ceremony. Sherry Farzan Rashad. Sherry will be attending Yale University, pre-med program. Congratulations. The valedictorian, class of 97. Budding astrophysicist, a scholar athlete, a musician, a Baker buddy. Diane Harkavy. Diane will be attending Harvard University in the fall.
I'm known in some Great Neck North circles as a fine and talented storyteller. My tales, spun like the silky web of a spider, include all the details and all the voices. Quite often, my stories end up being longer than the actual event. But to tell the story of the senior class seated in front of you would take all of 18 years times 184 students, each with its own distinct voice and time we do not have. Plus, I occasionally get off on a tangent, and that could add a couple of years or so to the story, which, if my math is correct, which is a big if, would be about, well, we'll forget about that, because time is something we do not have to waste. It's funny, actually, to think about time, to realize that this moment, the one right here, the one that just passed, it'll never happen again. But in its place is our memory of it, a memory that will never be forgotten. And in the place of the 4 years that have just passed, and the 18 years that many of us have spent together, are memories. Memories that will last a lifetime. Memories of getting onto the school bus the first day of kindergarten. Memories of our 5th grade graduation. Memories of getting lost in the halls of the middle school, fearing we would never emerge from the sticky jelly of the school that we were told was shaped like a giant donut. Or, even still, others may recall the exhilaration of entering the big gym, dressed from head to toe in the most atrocious shining gold cloth as seniors of the Nile. Okay, fine, so our banner was still wet. But as we marched proudly behind it, or cheered at its sight from the stands, we knew we had earned our title as the graduating class of 1997. So what are we to do with all the memories we have stored? Are we to forget this leg of our journey as we pass on to the next? As I look around to the faces around me and realize how much we mean to each other, I know that I could never forget. As we move into the future, we must use our memories to fuel us, to keep us running on our individual paths, wherever they may lead us. We must remember not only that last week we took a nasty spill down the front steps of school, and oh yes, I was pretty darn proud of that one, but that we got back up, laughed, and kept on walking. And each time I stumble on my path again, I will remember it. What we have received at North is not just an education, but an experience. Sure, that's one way to describe working with Mr. Edelman. But our deranged and often psychotic advisor has in fact taught us a lot. He has taught us about enthusiasm and devotion, 2 lessons we will certainly take along with us. We thank him for reminding us how to laugh at ourselves and at each other. By the way, Mr. Edelman, those wigs at Battle, they weren't donated. In all of our 180-something stories, there is a common chapter. Our lives at Great Neck North unite us now as they will forever. We may be looking forward to our new lives with excitement, but we will always carry with us the feeling we had the last time we thankfully burst through the front doors and onto the front lawn of school. So I would like to ask each of you, as schoolmates, as friends, as graduates, to look at each other right now and capture this moment as a picture in your mind's eye, as a memory. Because as time passes, today turns into tomorrow, and our stories continue. Good luck to the class of 1997. May all of our future memories be as warm as the ones we have shared together, and may each of our stories become bestsellers. Thank you.
Congratulations, today is your day. You're off to great places, you're off and away. Dr. Seuss wrote his final work, Oh, the Places You'll Go, in 1990, when the prospect of entering the doors of Great Neck North High School seemed distant. We were in 5th grade, a year of reading groups, CTBS testing, Mr. Winky, line leaders, boxball, slap bracelets recessed, and missing teeth. We all had this strong sense of loyalty towards our own elementary schools, whether it was Baker, Saddle Rock, Jail for Kids, or elsewhere, and many of us did not even know each other yet. But Dr. Seuss was definitely writing about the future class of 1997 in his final book, for there is no class that has preceded us that has shown as much strength, success, and potential for future success as our grade, and it's unlikely that a group of our caliber will matriculate in the near future. We are leaving behind a very special legacy at North High School. What makes it so special is that each one of us, in our own distinct way, contributed. It's unbelievable to me that I've actually made it to graduation. It seems as if it was just yesterday that my peer leader, Jeff Schindel, was showing me my locker and I was shaking, half because I was completely overwhelmed and half because, well, I thought that guys only looked like that in the movies. He tried to convince me that the school wasn't really that large and confusing. It was shaped like a box, he said. So for the past 4 years, we've all been in the same box, exploring every crevice, carving our own niches, and growing as students, as friends, and as people. Some of us were lucky. Those of us whose last names begin with the letters A through L were assigned to one exit of the box, where if you ventured outside, there were few repercussions. The rest of us were strictly confined to the box and were subject to persecution by a certain dean of students for any violation of the Butera Code of Discipline. Yet together, the class of 1997 created our own miniature society, led by our neurotic but beloved advisor, Dr. Vanderwater Edelman, with our own mascot, the Indian, Griffin, Goat, Jeep Grand Cherokee, and with our own distinct personality. After all, we are the class Guidepost wrote about when we were only in 8th grade, courtesy of Matt and Glenn Scow. We are the class that was overwhelmingly victorious in the Spirit Week food drive due to 228 cans of 32-cent tomato paste. Somewhere on Long Island, the homeless are eating a ton of pasta because of our efforts. We are the class that survived every feasible natural disaster, from a school flood to bulletin board fires every Friday freshman year, and which now holds the record number of parking violations in Lot A. Speaking of which, Mr. Kaplan requested that I make the following announcement at an appropriate time. May I have your attention, please? Will the owner of a navy blue Ford Explorer with the license plates 2 Esquire's son please move your vehicle from the entrance of the Tillis Center? You're blocking in the entire lot. I see some things never change. We bought magazine subscriptions from a man in gigantic snakeskin boots at one assembly and was taught an important spelling lesson by a fire chief at another. We were a few good freshmen, sophomore superheroes, junior bandstand, and seniors of the Nile. Battle represented a true cooperative effort among students, although Andrew Wolf still argues that he didn't need anyone's help ripping his shirt off junior year. The senior class dominated every aspect of our school, from Brian's running, Joe's computers, Sherry's research, Scott's acting, Spencer's promotions, Julie's high notes, Erica's trumpet, Danny's basketball, Jasmine's art, Liz's UN, Tali's mock trial, Romina's wedding, Missy, Melanie, and Lauren's kilties, and Sharon's fashion statements. And speaking of fashion, the class of 1997 has its definite trendsetters, shown through Erica's unique prom dress, Michael Garris's fisherman hat, David Abaram's sunglasses, which he seems to prefer to wear indoors, the Mouseketeers, Bees, and Angels on Halloween, and plastic jeans that I seem to never be able to forget about, much to my dismay. The class of 1997 had its representatives as workers at Merrill Lynch, Laura Ashley, Pokemont, Bagel Hut, Twigs, Off Campus, Infinity, and Camping Campus, and as volunteers at the elementary schools, nursing homes, child abuse centers, Sprats, and the Animal League. Graduation is a true milestone in life. Next year, we all face new beginnings and new paths leading us to the future. We will be spread out across the continent, adapting to the size of Michigan and Indiana, the warm weather of Florida and Emory, urban life at Yale and Penn, and the bitter cold of Cornell and Buffalo, and simply the notion of just not being with each other anymore. One philosophical question does truly puzzle me, though, and I'm not so sure that there's a definitive answer. How did we survive? How did we make it through changing 357 times for gym class, dozens of regents exams, countless assemblies, and the pains of intercepting interim reports before they reached our parents? How did we survive Coach Hugo's sermons, Mrs. Hellman's isms, Dr. Weiss's tangents, Monica's good news, course 2 with Mrs. Brooke, psychoanalysis with Miss Lawrence, and sex in Shakespeare with Miss Schlesinger. And to this day, no matter how hard I try, I cannot forget Morgan, Hacker, Hofstadter, and Turner, not to mention using historian Young as a reference on the AP American History exam. The absolute joy of walking into class and seeing Mr. Heiko the sub sitting at the desk. Was matched only by that rush when Mrs. Abbas's math test was interrupted by a fire drill. The frustration of not being able to leave the gym after class before the bell rings was matched only by that shock that 40 of us simultaneously lapsed into after reading question number 1 on the macroeconomics AP exam, and the consternation we felt as we stalked the local mailman for our college mail. It is miraculous that our heads were able to absorb regular schedules, assembly schedules, Wednesday schedules, and survived the sheer boredom that accompanied having only 1 or 2 classes second semester senior year. It was hard, but we pulled through, questioning everything from the logic of being called out of class only to hear a lecture on why missing class is so horrible, to why it took 3 years to build a student lounge that still remains only a figment in Ben Poland's imagination. This grade certainly has its experts, from the Scrabble experts who display their talents outside the library, to those who can tell a fake product from a genuine one, to those who understand what Dr. Weiss is saying and what herring has to do with European history. Yet only in Great Neck is the principal simply Bernie, one of us whose roles vary from mentor to soccer coach to groundskeeper to custodian to role model to traffic director, and the education truly worth the exorbitant property taxes. And only at Great Neck North do we have the true luxury of learning what OPAC stands for every time a class takes a trip to the library, and the treat of bringing swimming pools, lounge chairs, mattresses, and stereos outside on the lawn, a beautiful prom at the top of the World Trade Center, and an equally wonderful senior event last night. But I guess what I'm really trying to get at is the question of how did we form such strong bonds between students, and at what point did we stop complaining about trivialities and come to appreciate Great Neck North Senior High School? I don't know at what exact moment things change. I just know that as much as our plans for the future are all exciting and new, it's still very hard for me to look at all of you and realize that it's all over. At this time, I'd just like to personally say thank you. Thanks to all 184 of you for respecting one another and forming a cohesive group. Thanks for giving me such wonderful memories, enlightening perspectives, and new ideas. The most important lessons that I learned in high school were not from textbooks or from lectures, but from simply experiencing life on a day-to-day basis with all of you. I look around now and realize how lucky I am to be part of such an outstanding class, Great Neck North's class of 1997. May all of our futures be as great as our past. Congratulations.
Morning. And now it's time to honor our retirees. Whether in English or in Spanish, finding words to describe Mr. Daniels seems an impossible task. How does one convey the strength of character, goodness of heart, or the overall humanity that Mr. Daniels brought to his students every day? On this occasion of our graduation, we all sit here wondering where life will lead us. I realize that not only are we following the road to our unknown future, but so is Mr. Daniels along with us. In his numerous years at Great Neck North, Mr. Daniels, better known to his students as Senor, has affected the lives of many. Senor's love for teaching and his unmeasurable goodness have been a lesson in itself that his students have learned daily. His uncanny humor takes the pressures of school off the students and enables them not only to learn faster, but a much greater quantity of material than expected. By becoming a teacher, Mr. Daniels enriched the lives of those who crossed his path. I am lucky to have been one of them. Senor has given me a greater understanding and a love of the Spanish language and culture. He has made me realize that language is not only a means of communication, but a course in life. Entering Mr. Daniels' Spanish class each day was not just a matter of routine. As we became more proficient in the language and were exposed to the Spanish literature, music, art, and culture, we were establishing a link with the past and opening a door to the future. Becoming engrossed in a language also allows for a transformation of consciousness. It yields a realization that we are not alone, that there is a world other than Great Neck about we all must strive to learn more. By understanding another culture, we have gained different perspectives on viewing life, and now with this great base, we will make our way into this world. As I pondered this thought, I was reminded of a short poem by the Spanish poet Antonio Machado. Born in Sevilla, raised in Castilla, and a professor of languages himself, he, like Mr. Daniels, was a man of high ideals and deep emotions. His poem, one of his cantares, expresses to me today's message. Caminante, son tus huellas el camino, y nada más. Caminante, no hay camino. Se hace camino al andar. Al andar se hace camino. Y al volver la vista atrás. Se ve la senda que nunca se ha de volver a pisar. Caminante, no hay camino, sino estelas en el mar. Wayfarer, your footsteps are the road and nothing else. Wayfarer, there is no road. You make the road by walking. By walking, you make your path. And as you look back, you see the path that you will never tread upon again. Wayfarer, there is no road, only wakes in the sea. As Mr. Daniels, myself, and my fellow graduates stand here today, we are all wayfarers, and each of us has made a path. What he has taught us will help us to make our way towards the future, and we are confident that he will look back fondly on the part of the road that we have shared together. Señor Daniels, gracias por todo, buena suerte, y hasta luego.
Throughout the 4 years that we've attended Great Neck North High, we have had experiences with several teachers. One, however, has touched the heart of anyone lucky enough to have had her as a teacher. Mrs. Hellman has always been there for each one of us, and we've always known that we can count and depend on her to help us in our time of need. Only she would be able to actually teach the unwilling second semester seniors the heart of chemistry. Even in our worst of times, when we've slept through class, have broken the flash during a lab, or even when we neglected to wake up for her first period class, Mrs. Hellman never lost hope for us. Her encouragement and assurance that even we could tackle chemistry is the reason why we grew to, if not love, then to at least like chemistry. Mrs. Hellman has always said that if a man's goal doesn't outreach his grasp, then what is a heaven for? Well, she has certainly followed that motto. The mole may be the link, but Mrs. Hellman, you are the key to chemistry. We love you, and we're going to miss you a lot.
Mr. Kemmer, one of Great Neck North's assistant principals, has always reached out to the students with his warm smiles and caring wisdom. Mr. Kemmer works closely with the students by encouraging and advising the clubs and organizations. It is in this capacity that I was fortunate to meet him. His door is always open, giving students a steady stream of advice about many issues, including fundraisers and field trips. Whether it is a table for a bake sale or permission to establish another school publication, Mr. Kemmer is always around to guide us in the right direction. At our graduation meeting earlier this month, Mr. Kemmer shared his wisdom about life's milestones with seniors. Mr. Kemmer, although we are very sad that you are leaving Great Neck North with us today, we are proud to share your special milestone with our special milestone. Our thoughts of high school will forever contain memories of your compassion and love for all the grateful students you have encouraged and guided. On behalf of the class of 1997 and Great Neck North High School, I would like to thank you for always being around when we needed your help. All the advice that you gave us will help guide us through the rest of our lives. When Matthew Arnold said, "Greatness is a spiritual condition worthy to excite love, interest, and admiration," he was probably thinking of you. Thank you.
Who could forget Mr. Levin's biology class? With his smiling face greeting us each day, it was clear he loved teaching. His enthusiasm shone through each lesson he taught. It was also clear from his oft-spoken statement, "Today, class, we are going to dissect," again, that he possessed a strong passion for dissecting. Mr. Levin, however, also respected those of us who vehemently opposed this procedure. Mr. Levin is more than an average teacher. He gets involved in each of his classes. Rather than lecturing and spitting out facts, he encourages thought, discussion, and questioning. He has always been eager to help students and encourage them to embrace the sciences. I must admit, science always seemed to land on the top of my least favorite classes list, but through the interesting and enthusiastically led classes by one of the finest teachers ever to come to Great Neck North, those double periods weren't as tedious as they could have been. I've always found Mr. Levin's class to be insightful and enlightening. Mr. Levin, your retirement is well deserved, and I know that the sciences will continue to play an important role in your life. Never stop smiling, and may you play lots of golf and try to spare a few frogs' lives.
Good morning. Mrs. Rosso, I would like to thank you for all that you have done for the past 3 years. You and the other teachers gave me the opportunity to learn English. In fact, you were more than just a teacher. I learned about life and friendship here in the United States. The students in the class and I found that we not only have the privilege, but that also our responsibilities about what are we going to do in the future. As I look toward the future, I find myself facing more and more difficult decisions, but I will keep in mind the good advice you gave us. And no matter what happens, I will never give up. Best wishes for a life of challenges and enjoyment. You deserve the best of everything in your retirement. You always give your best, and I will never forget you for that. There is always a moment of saying farewell, but not goodbye. I will always keep your advice in my heart. Hasta pronto. Thank you.
There is so much to say about this wonderful person who changed the lives of so many students. Naomi Schlessel has been the guidance counselor at Great Neck North for many years. In some cases, she's been the counselor for both parent and child. In all her years of counseling, she has given much time and energy to her students. She could always be found in the office upstairs with classical music playing, either at her desk working, at the typewriter or computer typing, or conversing with another student. But either way, whenever you came in, she would always find time for you, whether it meant stopping all work or it meant having you wait outside for 5 minutes. She gave each of her students individual attention, and when there were schedule conflicts, which there were many, she would always be at the classroom door, taking you out of class, or she would call you late at night to make sure that they were all resolved. She went through all the frustration and made sure that at the end you were content with the schedule you had. Besides the guidance office, Mrs. Schlessel also had an impact on the music department. Every now and then, Mrs. Schlessel would pop her head into the band room, and even when it didn't sound just right, she would give a positive response and encourage us to keep trying. Music was and is a large part of her life. When we started renewing the music department with a new teacher 5 years ago, it was Mrs. Schlessel who encouraged everyone to plow through the hard times, for there were good times ahead. But finally, the college process started. There were so many things we didn't know about, and one by one, she guided you through the twists and turns the application held. It was amazing how she wrote so many college recommendations in such a small period of time. She was there to send them out with the hope that you got in, and she was there to either celebrate with you when you got that acceptance or share your grief when you got the other response. But even when you were sad, she was there to lift you up and say, "Who needs them anyway?" It's hard to believe when we come back next year, Mrs. Schlessel, that you won't be at Great Neck North. You've affected the lives of so many people who both had and didn't have the privilege of working with you. Mrs. Schlessel, we will miss you, and we wish you the best of luck.
To put it plainly, Spanish was never my forte. I couldn't remember where accents belonged for the life of me. I had continually been turned off to the Spanish language, and I was considering dropping the course. However, all that changed when I met Senora Saunders, my sophomore and junior year Spanish teacher. Senora, it has been a pleasure being your student and your friend for the past 3 years. Not only have you opened my eyes and ears to the Spanish language and culture, you've instilled in me a love for learning. Going to your class was never a chore. You made your lessons interesting, informative, and fun. You always had cute little ways of getting your students to understand the subject matter. When you were teaching us how to form the subjunctive, you always said, put the verb in the third person past tense and get rid of the last 3 letters, which spelled out R-O-N. Ron. You told the class that your husband's name was Ron, and when we wanted to remember how to form the subjunctive, all we had to do was get rid of Ron. The whole class really got a kick out of that one. If I ever needed help understanding a concept, or just wanted to talk, you always made yourself available to me to help me out. Just meet me in the language office during your lunch period, you'd say, and if I'm a little late, just wait by my desk. And I'd always know what desk was yours, because it was the neatest one in the entire office. As a result of your inspirational teaching, I grew to love the Spanish language and took every opportunity I could to speak it. I begged my family to go to Spanish-speaking countries for vacations. I translated for my father's Spanish-speaking clients, and I made friends with all the Spanish-speaking busboys at the diner. And consequently, I was rewarded with free soda refills. Listening to you describe Spanish culture in vivid detail made me want to experience this country firsthand.
So in my junior year, I decided to apply to a summer study program in Spain. Part of the application process required me to submit a long questionnaire filled out by one of my teachers. So I came to you with this lengthy form to fill out, apologizing for any inconvenience. Not only did you fill out the long questionnaire, you went even further and wrote a personal letter to the director of the program, stating that you thought I really deserved to be a part of their program. A few weeks later, I received a phone call from the director telling me the program was all filled up. But because my Spanish teacher wrote such a strong recommendation, he would make an exception and find a space for me in the program. If it weren't for you, Senora, I would not have had the great opportunity to study in Spain last summer. 2 years of your preparation was my saving grace in AP Spanish class. My next great mentor, Senor Daniels, took over right where you left off. You were both the best when it comes to teaching Spanish. Senora, besides your great teaching, I'll never forget your warm personality, your understanding, your smile, and of course, your impossible tests. Over the past 3 years, you have had such a profound influence on my life. Not only have you been my inspiration, you've been a friend and a mentor. Thank you for instilling in me the love for the Spanish language and culture. I will have that for the rest of my life. I will always remember the education that you gave me and the friendship that we have shared. I wish you all the best in your retirement, and I will never forget you. Gracias por todo lo que has hecho. No voy a olvidarte de nuestra amistad. Thank you.
Faculty, parents, Dr. Shine, Dr. Sanders, Board of Education, honored guests, and the class of 1997. Would the faculty please rise? Faculty that are out there, would you please rise? Faculty on the stage, would you please rise? I'd like to join the class of 1997 in giving you a round of appreciative applause for the truly outstanding North High faculty. Thank you. As is our custom, this graduation was planned completely by this class of 1997, from beginning to end. I want to thank them for inviting me to share this moment with them, this wonderful, joyous, and sometimes terrifying moment with them, this moment when your childhood is fading, and the promise, the fears, and the responsibilities of adulthood are just over the hill, just around the corner, just a month, just a day, just a moment away, just this moment away. I've given many speeches in my life, but few that I have struggled with and thought about as much as I have struggled with and thought about this one. We came to North High together. You are my class, and I'm your principal, or I was your principal, for better or for worse. What advice, what kind of caution, what praise can I say to you now that I haven't already said to you before? 100 times, 1,000 times before. We have shared a high school lifetime together. You were certainly a challenge. You know that. You tested every rule, went beyond the limits many, too many times. Sometimes you simply refused to do what you yourself knew was the right thing to do. But you were also a joy, and you know that as well. Often surprising in your goodness, in your courage, in your achievements, and your caring for each other. So I struggled with this speech. What could I say at this graduation to the class of 1997? And then one idea emerged, one simple, sweet idea, an idea that really seemed to fit how I feel about this class and what I'd like to say to you. and it's really not complicated. I ask you all of you, to be proud. Be proud. Live a life of which you can be proud. Do things about which you can be proud. I loved you at your prom. I was proud of you. You were great. The cliques broke down. You respected each other. You enjoyed each other. You had a blast. I was proud of you. That same theme has run through all of your best moments, at North High. You know what they are. The real stuff that dreams are made of. You know that proud is about what you give and not what you get. You know that proud is about what you give, not what you get. Proud is about creating, and proud is about sharing. It's not about making and taking. Pride is about hubris. Proud is about being strong and being true and caring about each other. Today, we are all proud of you. May each and every one of you work to create a life, to live a life, to have a life full of moments about which you deserve to be proud. And one day, one of these moments, you will be bursting with proud as you watch your child pass from childhood to adulthood in a graduation ceremony, just like your parents are watching you today. Congratulations. Now I have a very special honor. We don't give awards. We have a special awards ceremony for awards. Graduation is about the class together. But Rudy Kemmer is a very special man to this class and to this community and to this school. He is a man who has taken unbelievable pride in his work, as well he should. He has been a symbol of integrity, compassion, thoughtfulness, and hard work for his entire career here at Great Neck. I personally owe him a great debt for all the help, guidance, and support he has given to me, and North High owes him an even greater debt. But that's too long a story to tell here. In his honor, the PTSA is proud to announce a special annual award to be given today for the first time, and then at our awards ceremony called the Rudy Kemmer Award, to be given annually to a graduating senior who has made significant contributions to their class and to North High School, and who exhibits unselfish devotion to the ideals of integrity, hard work, and achievement. North High faculty would also like to announce that it is doubling the monetary amount of that award in honor of Mr. Kemmer and in honor of their pride in him. It is my privilege to give this first annual award to a young woman who absolutely epitomizes the values of caring, unselfish commitment, and hard work. She is a petite young woman with a huge lion's heart. The first annual Rudy Kemmer Award I present to Danielle Napolitano.
There are places I remember all my life, though some have changed, some forever, not for better. Some have gone, and some remain. All these places have their moments with lovers and friends. I still can recall, some are dead and some are living in my unbearable sorrow, to run where the brave dare not go, to right the unrightable wrong, to love pure and chaste from afar, to try when your arms are too weary, to reach the unreachable star. This is my quest, to follow that star, no matter how hopeless, no matter how far, to fight for the right without question or cause, to be willing to march into hell for a heavenly cause.
It all began the day I found that from my window I could only see a piece of sky. I stepped outside and looked around. I never dreamed it was so wide or even half as high. The time had come to try my wings, and even though I knew at any moment I could fall, I felt the most
Amazing things, the things you can't imagine if you've never flown at all.
Though it's safer to stay on the ground, sometimes where danger lies, there the sweetest of pleasures are found.
No matter where I go, there'll be memories that tug at my sleeve. There will always be much to question and much to believe. The more I live, the more I learn. The more I learn, the more I realize, the less I know. Each step I take, each page I turn, each mile I travel only means the more I have to go. What's wrong with wanting more? If you can fly, then soar. With all there is, why settle for just a piece of sky? Mama, I can feel you. Mama, I can feel you. Watch me fly.
Good idea. I have stood before you over the years dressed as the Joker, Dick Clark, Spider-Man, Kaniki from Greece, and as a pharaoh dressed in a gold robe. So why am I so nervous now when I am standing here dressed like everybody else? I'll tell you why. Because if I make any mistakes now, I know that you are all going to be watching them over and over again on Channel 51 throughout the summer. Hey everybody, come here, fast. Mr. Edelman is on again, and he looks even goofier the second time around. Before I begin, there are a number of people who I need to thank on behalf of the senior class. Mrs. Hugo, for not only answering all of my teacher-related questions, but for being a constant source of North High information. Mr. Kemmer, for making sure that all of the senior activities took place. And Mr. Kaplan, for somehow being absolutely everywhere all of the time. And last, but certainly not least, Ms. Giampetruzzi, or Ms. G. Thank you for being the co-advisor. Thank you for becoming so involved and for being a calming influence when I needed one. Wait, was I ever in need of a calming influence? Maybe once or twice. Well, today is the day, graduation day. I can't believe that we are all here. It happened so fast. It seems like we met each other only yesterday. Actually, it was 3 years ago, and many of you were in the first classes that I ever taught here. As a math teacher, I believe that the odds were against 28 best friends ending up in the same class. So much for probability. It was clear how close everyone in the class was to each other and how easy it would be to have everyone work together as a team. Somehow, you managed to learn and have fun at the same time. You always had so much spirit, always fundraising. Sophomore year was a busy year. We sold the property of Great Neck North Athletic Department extra large t-shirts, which can still be seen constantly around North High. During the homecoming parade, many of you painted your faces orange and blue and showed everyone how energetic the class of '97 could be. I think that Joe used a whole tube of paint on his face alone. We hosted the first of 2 annual lip sync contests, and who could ever forget Spencer's award-winning performance of I'm Too Sexy. A few good freshmen became many great sophomores. We made an heroic effort as the sophomore superheroes, with Anna as Catwoman, Andrew as the Penguin, and Matt flying in as Superman. The thought of that evening always brings a smile to my face. The poster and banner looked as though they were made by professional artists. That is one thing that would never change. Anyway, when the 30 of you finished the dance, the audience went wild. Everyone knew that the class of '97 was going to be a tough act to follow. I went off to camp and returned. And before I knew it, junior year had arrived. PSATs and SATs were keeping you focused, though you still had the spirit and were eager to raise funds for the prom. You found the time to have the 2nd annual lip sync contest. We made the top 10 lies told the Great Neck North High School t-shirts and the North Blazers keychains. We are sorry that the parking spaces that we told you went with the keychains didn't exactly come through. Battle came around again, and this time we were the junior bandstand. We all piled into Lauren's or Brooks' house to pick out all of the music. Mr. Edelman, you don't have to sing every song for us. We have the CDs. My classroom became an art room, and I think that there is still some glitter on the floor. As far as the dance was concerned, Anna had a special way of making sure that everyone learned it. On battle night, some of you got extremely emotional, Andrew. One of you said, if you don't complain to the judges right now, then you don't care about us class at all. The pressure was building, and it was only junior year. And then, the most anticipated event of that year, the junior prom. Danny and I learned just how hard it was to make an arch out of balloons. I was actually bleeding after trying to tie all of those knots, and I have the scar to prove it. The class officers tied enough balloons to last them a lifetime. But the hard work was worth it. Everyone looked so great that night, so mature and sophisticated. We all had a blast. It was off to camp and back to school again. This year would be the year of all years. This was senior year, the year of the class of '97. Some of you thought that you were seniors last year, but now this was the real thing. You showed your spirit by starting off the year with the welcome back dance. Then you had Singled Out. What a night. MTV wishes that their show was as good as ours. And then there was the fashion show. You can try to explain what the Great Neck North Fashion Show is like, but people just don't understand unless they see it. Fortunately for us, Jill's family made sure that everyone did see it. Not only was the fashion show a success, but so was the 1997 Battle of the Classes. It was most definitely our turn to win. We came up with the theme of Seniors of the Nile. We practiced day and night. The custodians would always come to tell us that the school was closing. But you just don't understand. We're the seniors. Could we please just have one more half hour? They always helped us out. Year after year, we raised funds for the prom. Well, what a great way to cap off the senior year. We looked at so many places, trying to pick the one that would typify our class. You came in as little freshmen, and you ended up on top of the world. But when you are surrounded by such a warm, bright, caring, and fun-loving group of people, we could have been anywhere and felt like we were on top of the world. It's off to camp and back to school again. But it won't be the same this time, because you won't be here when I return. Since I have been a part of the school, you have always been here. In my heart, you always will be here. I am going to remember all of the fun times that we shared together. Thank you for making me a part of the class of '97 and for enabling me to get right into the life of the school, to be at the center of activities, and to learn about your lives. I will miss you next year, but I have no doubt in my mind that wherever you go, you are going to make those of us who stay behind at Great Neck North High proud. Dr. Shine, Dr. Sanders, Mrs. Fuchs, and members of the Board of Education, it is my honor and privilege to present the class of 1997. The students will be introduced to you individually by their class officers. President Danielle Napolitano. Vice President Glenn Scow. Secretary Secretary Allison Palmer Scodel. And Treasurer Michael Adam Bassick.
Meredith Rubin. Brooke Sharkey. Jill Levine. Brian Joseph. Jaron Arhis. Romina Ganji. Zebra Beth Glazer. Jennifer Zarin. Juan Flores. Raymond Gilliard. David Kaplan. Emil Samaya. Lorenzo Livium. Ivan Hakimian. Sam Afra. John Gabazadeh. Daniel Zeloff. Ryan Gabriel. Richard Faraci Jr. Arash Makani. Hutan Roof Parvar. Karen Hakroa. Marissa Abelson. Jennifer Cole. Tali Rabino. Lena Kim. Diane Harkavy. Sherry Farzan Kashani. Michael Kripel. Warren Young. Lee Kuo Lin. Jason Koo. Dahlia Raffi. Erica Scheiber. Lauren Robin Bronstein. Erica Nicole Lehrman. Ilana Brenner. Anna Reyes. Dahlia Zahabian. Melissa Shirazi. Sharon Gabay. Jennifer Rosengarten. Jason Bafarin. Oren Ramanan. Misha Hagani. David Amirian. Michael Azizi. Kamiar Hamoff. Omid Paradian. Jahan Agalapur. Mitchell Adut. Bobby Navi. Benjamin Muradafar. Jacob Sedge. Brian Blessy. Amy Squire. Julie Squire. Karen Fox. Laura Keller. Jocelyn Lewiskin. Nicole Farag. Jenny Spielman. Melanie Endy. Marissa Leifer. Nazanin Ramani. Marnie Agan. Robert Orban. Jeremy Ross. Anil Melwani. Maya Abrahimi. Bianca Hakimi. Jocelyn Farhangian. Susan Bird. Roya Saraf.
Barry Portney. Nilafar Navandi. Karishma Kataram. Allison Damast. Amanda Birnbaum. Amina Parvana. Rebecca Brill.
Stephen Alvarado. Saul Cohn. Brian Tilker. Douglas Bloom. John Kang. David Avaram. Joseph Kim. Michael Garris. Matthew Logan Singer. Guy Enzweig. Spencer Garrett Singer. David Savison. Ryan Valina. Joshua Granoff. Arash Dominion. Dan Shashu. Matthew Katz. Carl Michael Lockenlally. Spencer Sheehan. David Bender. Chang Yu Chuang.
Alex Toma. Shall we throw? Mr. Stephen Hugo Saltini. Brian Goldstein. Scott Reicheter. Stephen Munno. Adam Schaefer. Jeff Krupski. Asi Agajan. Matthew Scow. Ethan Roberts. Simona Avram. Robert Roxar. Jose Martinez. Josue Molina. Tamara Berlin. Sandra Hernandez. Yamit Dardashtian. Michelle Rampal. Laura Lynn.
Andrew Wolf. Jeremy Beta. Joshua Berger. Sam Baluch. Melissa Rubin. Jennifer Glazer. Helena Wolin. Jillian Dinstein.
Jacqueline Silverman. Kimberly Racy. Rosalina Suarez. Rafael Hendricks. Erica Stacy Strickon. Elizabeth Safian. Kyla Gesson. Melissa Lubert. Lisa Lipback. Steve Chen. Carlos Perla. Robin Benasiski. Chad Damiani. Daniel Shalit. Joseph Turian. Sharon M. Perlman. Daniel Ekman. David Resnick. Benjamin Poland.
Brian Epstein. Scott Epstein. Mitchell B. Houtman. Chun Ju Lee. Michael Stark. Joel Maxwell. Deborah Elias. Lindsay Roberts. Parachart Jasmine Katatakarn. Nelson Wu. Matthew Millman.
Victoria Bozovic. Holly Holly Friedman. Carly Ross.
Gillian Pearl Rosen. Emil Hedaya. Zachary Peter Reebstein. Saul G. Rosenthal. Brandon Spun. Michael A. Gans. Josefina Heredia. Yolanda Sierra. Ryan Brooms. Brian Robertson. Alan Franco.
Congratulations to the class of 1997.